President George H.W. Bush once said that the solution to each problem begins with an individual who steps forward and says, "I can help." Dr. Condoleezza Rice is one of those individuals who steps forward first. Dr. Rice has most famously stepped up to serve her country as Secretary of State from 2005 to 2009. She was the second woman and first black woman to hold this esteemed post. She has also worked side by side with President George H.W. Bush as a member of his national security staff and a special assistant to the President for National Security. Dr. Rice has also shared her light with young people, co-founding the Center for a New Generation, an academic enrichment program which has expanded its reach through a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of America. The next generation also benefits from her guidance and wisdom as a professor of political science and of global business at Stanford University. As a member of the Stanford faculty since 1981, Dr. Rice has spent decades encouraging young people to engage on local levels to create positive change in their own communities. Dr. Rice also believes the key ingredients for transformation to be possible are that people recognize they want it and each and every person is willing to play a role. Even with a lifetime of service behind her, Dr. Condoleezza Rice continues to look forward, seeking ways to play a role and serve as a point of light.
Please welcome the George H.W. Bush Points of Light Award honoree, Condoleezza Rice.
Well, thank you. I'm left breathless and speechless. I am so honored to be here tonight and to receive this award as a point of light. I'm honored because this is an idea that has taken off not just in our country but across the world, that those individual points of light can become one great shining sun for humanity. I had the great honor and privilege of working for President George H.W. Bush. And as the Bush family will tell you, when you worked for George H.W. Bush, you also worked for Mrs. Barbara Bush. It was a wonderful time in my life. I was a young 34-year-old professor from Stanford who was just fortunate enough to end up as the White House Soviet specialist at the end of the Cold War. And to watch George H.W. Bush, a transformative president, lead the world through those extraordinary events that liberated Eastern Europe, unified Germany, collapsed the Soviet Union. And he did it with dignity and with honor, and with a sense of humility that was truly extraordinary. I just have to tell one story from that time. On the day that the Berlin Wall fell, we all rushed to the Oval Office and we said, "Mr. President, you have got to go to Berlin. You have to go for Truman and Kennedy and Reagan." And he said, "What would I do? Dance on the wall?" He said, "This is a German moment, not an American one." At his funeral, I encountered Chancellor Angela Merkel, who had come from Germany to be there. I said, "Chancellor, you honor us with your presence." She said, "Without him, my country would not have unified." That was the extraordinary impact that he had on this world through diplomacy and high politics. But as extraordinary as that was, his impact in so many other ways was perhaps more extraordinary, and none more extraordinary than those 1,000 points of light that he pointed to and that we celebrate tonight. What made George H.W. Bush such a great president was that he had all of the characteristics that you would want: integrity and honor and intelligence and hard-working ability to make the impossible seem inevitable in retrospect. But he also understood the essence of America. And for him, the essence of America was our individualism. We defended our rights like nobody else, but we are also the most communitarian people on the face of the earth. In 1835, when the French philosopher Alexis de Tocqueville came to the United States, he wanted to understand these Americans. And he said that one thing that was a bit puzzling for him was what he called these voluntary associations, in which they seemed to just organize themselves to try to do good. It's that spirit of voluntarism, it's that spirit of just trying to do good that is really the essence of America and what has made this country great. President George H.W. Bush called them points of light. De Tocqueville called them those voluntary associations. But we know that they mean the same thing. And not just here, but now across the world, people have come to understand that governments can do a lot, but they can't bring compassion, they can't bring hope, they can't bring that special touch to those who may be hurting or in need. That is the role of the individual point of light. And I'm so grateful that President George H.W. Bush set our country and the world on this path. It is indeed the light at the end of the tunnel for humanity, led one step at a time by each point of light. Thank you very much.